So I'm going to make some fried rice with my leftover brown rice that I made yesterday, and we had a little bit of roast pork, so I've mixed those together, and the roast pork was cooked with soy sauce and stuff, so I mixed all that into the rice, and I'm going to just tip that into the wok here. I could make it in the Thermomix if I was making a small amount, but I'm making tons, so that's the rice, and then I chopped up my vegetables. You could put them in the Thermomix and chop for 3 seconds, but I liked seeing all the bits together. So I'm just putting that in. I haven't heated it up yet, because what I'm going to do first of all is to chop my garlic on a running blade. So it's on speed 8, and I'm going to throw the garlic in. When they stop making any choppy noises, I switch it off. So you don't set time, you just turn the dial to speed 8 and throw those in, and you've got chopped garlic. I'm going to scrape them down. If I can find a spatula, which I can't. Oh, here's one. Okay, scrape them all down into the bowl. And then I'm going to put in, weigh it, 20 grams of olive oil in there. There we go, 21. And the first thing to do here is to saute this with the measuring cup on for 3 minutes. On 120 degrees on speed 2. Okay, and whilst that's happening, I will just separate my rice, mix in the meat, and then just before, when I saute all of this in the Thermomix, I'm going to heat up the rice and then chuck everything from there into there. And one little trick I thought I'd show you as well is that I have made these really thin omelettes over here. I put them all together and roll them up and then shred them. You can do this with noodles as well. The reason I've really converted to stir frying my vegetables in the Thermomix is I just love the flavors. At 120 degrees, all the flavors are preserved, so I do it that way now. And all I add to the vegetables is half a teaspoon of salt, and the rest of the flavor is actually just created by the garlic and the olive oil and cooking at the right temperature. So I'm going to stop the video for now because I've got another 1.5 minutes to go here and everything else is ready. So my garlic is now sauteed, sizzling away in there. Now all I do is put all the vegetables in. It's whatever I had in the fridge. I had carrots, celery, courgettes and spring onions. I'm putting them all in here. Hopefully I won't spill them. And I've got some frozen peas that Zyra wants. And I'm going to wait. I've got mushrooms, but I think I might just saute my mushrooms separately and then pour the juices into there. So I'm going to just leave that as it is. And I've got some chives here, which I think I'm going to put with the mushrooms. And here we have half a teaspoon of salt, that goes in. And all I do here is, again, I'm going to do it for 4 minutes at 120 degrees. And I'm going to turn the blade to reverse, which is a little logo under the speed, under the 0 when you start. And then I'm going to stir all of this at speed 1.5 for the 4 minutes. So this is now done, the vegetables. What I forgot to tell you is while the vegetables were cooking, I was heating up the rice. So the rice is nice and hot, and I'm going to chuck all these veg with the juices straight into the rice. And then without washing the Thermomix or anything, I'm going to chuck those mushrooms in to the Thermomix. With the chives and a little bit of salt. Oh, and I'm going to put some garlic powder in because, again, Zyra loves it. And I'm going to cook this for 2 minutes on 120 degrees on reverse at the slowest speed, which is the wooden spoon. And then I'm going to turn off the rice, and I'm just going to toss all this. By the way, this is a heat-resistant spatula that I hunted down because it's multifunctional, works in the Thermomix as well as on the stove. Stir all of this in. Couldn't be easier, and I promise you, so delicious. And then I'm going to put my egg in there. And then we had some leftover Little Gem lettuces from last night, and I just shredded those and put those in as well. And then add the mushrooms when they're done, and we have dinner. So my mushrooms are done. Well, actually they're not done. 2 minutes was too little, so I'm going to give it another minute because there are too many in there. And so 1 more minute on 120, and reverse and slow speed. And then all I'm going to do after that is toss them into there. I don't want them to be soggy, so just heat it through. It's on 65 degrees. As soon as it hits 100, I'm going to take it off. And you know, you can see the temperature right up there. And I know it's easy enough to do a stir fry on the stove, but like I said, the flavor is delicious. It tastes so perfectly healthy. And the important thing is that in the time that it was stirring, I managed to clear my sink, fill the dishwasher, and have nothing to do but serve it. So there we go, it's had 1 more minute. And it hit 98 degrees. Sorry, my measuring cup fell off. And that is how I want it. Just cooked through and heated up. And I'm going to toss all of that into my wok again, give it a stir through, and then we're going to sit down and eat dinner. And there's tons here for 4 of us, so there'll be enough for lunch tomorrow as well. Easy and yummy.